Hello and thanks for watching this Acumatica video on some new manufacturing features that we have available in 2020 Release 1. So in this video we're going to show you the mobile capabilities of manufacturing, and these new capabilities have just come out recently. So if we take a look at the production order screen, one of the things you see here are some new screens similar to, if you've seen our videos of distribution and the advanced WMS software that we've added in the last couple of versions. But you'll notice there's some scan labor, scan material, and scan move screens. And these screens are optimized for barcode scanning to allow you to keep track of all the daily activities that occur on your manufacturing shop floor. So one of the new features is a production ticket with the barcode on it. So if we run that report and we open up a open in process production order, notice the checkbox here for printing the barcode. You can turn that off if you need to. But if we take a look at this report, you can see everything pretty much has been enabled as a barcode. So the order type, the production number, the step of production, you can see all the items in the warehouse and the location. They're all been barcoded. So if we jump over to a scan labor screen, for example, on the screen you'll notice it's been optimized to accept barcodes. Some of these barcodes might be dynamic to the production order you're working on. Therefore, you may scan from the production ticket. But in other scenarios, such as warehouse and location, and commonly used barcodes, you may decide to put these as stickers on your workbench or somewhere convenient for shop floor workers to be able to scan. But in this case, I'm going to be copying pasting because the barcode scanner doesn't really show up well through a recorded screen demo. So if we go to our scan labor, the first question it's asking is, we need to select the order type, production order, or an indirect labor code. So Acumatica allows you to scan labor codes that are not specific to any production orders. So any kind of indirect labor, such as maybe sweeping the floor or cleaning up things or performing maintenance equipment or something along those lines, you can perform an indirect labor code, and that's what that's all about. But for this example, we're going to scan the production order. So I'll go over to the production order number, I'll copy and paste it into our scan screen. And now we're going to scan the operation ID, and that's the step in our production. In this case, it's production order 10. And now the next thing we're going to do is scan our shift ID. Now, if you've looked at our labor screens, we're going to go to this in a second to show the result. But if we looked at our labor screens, as you're creating labor transactions, this is effectively what Acumatica is doing. It's making it easier so you don't have to type this stuff and tab over and use the tab key, use keyboards and stuff. Instead, we're using a barcode. But if we move over to the shift, you'll notice Acumatica has multiple different shifts that can be associated with your work center. So in this case, we're going to scan shift 0001. So we'll go back and we'll paste that. It didn't come across on the clipboard, so we'll type it in. And now we'll scan the labor time. So in this case, it'll be 1 hour. And then we'll scan our employee ID. So again, this could be a badge that the employee is wearing. Could just scan that badge in. So in this case, we'll go over to our labor screen and we'll just open this up so we can copy it to the clipboard. And again, normally you'd barcode this, but for the purposes of a screen demo, it's easier to do it this way. But when I jump over to the mobile app in a few minutes, you'll see it a little bit clearer. So now we've completed a labor transaction. And we can simply hit the release button and get this labor transaction completed. And you'll notice you get the little jingle here, if you heard that. And that jingle indicates that you've done something right. The same thing is also included in advanced warehouse management software, where the sounds indicate whether you've made a mistake or you've completed your task. If we go back over to labor and I go back to our list, of labor transactions, you can see the transaction we just created. And again, it created this line entry with all the relevant fields associated. 1 hour labor. The labor rate came from the work center. Here's our shift, our employee. It was direct labor. And we did it against this particular item with this production order. This is the inventory item, is what we're creating in this production on this step. So now if we go back and we go back to our scan labor, we'll shift gears for a moment and we'll scan materials. So again, the same thing. We scan our production order. We'll scan our operation ID, our step. We'll put in our location. And then we'll scan the item that we're attaching to this production order. So now at this point, we can hit set quantity and increase the quantity. But every time we scan the item will have a barcode on it. This is a reservoir unit for the item we're making. Every time we scan it, it'll increment the quantity by 1. So now we can release this. And again, we got a nice sound here. If we refresh, we can see the new transaction that was created behind the scenes. So this is pretty straightforward. The other screen we have is scan move. So once again, we'll scan our production order. And our operation ID. And you can see what Acumatica is doing here is it's creating a move transaction to get us through step 10 with 1 quantity. Now, if we take a look at this production order, we're looking for quantity 10. So this won't complete this, but if we release this, and we'll jump over to our production order just to get an idea of what's going on here. So we'll go to production order maintenance. And we open up our production order. We can see some of the results. First of all, we've completed 1, not as a result of anything we've done, because we only did a move transaction for the first step. But if we go to event history, you can see all of the transactions that were created from these scan screens. So we did a scan labor, a scan materials, and a scan move. We can open up those individual transactions. So behind the scenes, Acumatica is creating all these transactions for us through our scan screens designed to optimize barcoding. Now, if we open up our mobile device and we'll take a look at the Acumatica app here, the screens that have been added when you add the mobile capabilities for manufacturing are very similar. They scan materials, scan labor, and scan move. So if we go into our, for example, scan labor, what we can do here is actually use the camera on our phone. This is just an iPhone, so it doesn't scan the same way. You'd normally use a Zebra Android device with or without a keyboard on it, but a touchscreen device. So we'll scan the production order. Then we'll scan, we'll move over to the step. Then we'll scan our shift ID, which I don't have as a barcode. Again, this would be something you'd put in as a barcode and sticker it somewhere. Maybe you'd put it on your badge, your employee badge. And then we would scan in our labor. Now we have a time clock application, which we'll do in a separate video. But this gives you an idea. You can enter in the time. You could have scanned the time if it's blocks of 15 minutes or an hour or something. So we'll send this. And then we'll put in our employee ID, which I'll have to type out. So bear with me. I know this is painful. And the employee ID is number 2. So now we've completed a labor transaction. If we hit the save button, and then we have the rights, we can actually release this transaction. So if we go back to Acumatica and we take a look at labor and we roll back, you will see our transaction that we just created. It's this one right here, transaction 64. We'll sort by descending, and we can see, actually, I'm sorry, it's 68. And if we go back to our production order maintenance, you'll notice the last event here is this one at 11:21. If we refresh and we turn the page, you could see our latest labor transaction, which also created cost against the production order. And you can drill into these to look at the detail. So additionally, if we go back to our menu, we can see there's a scan move and a scan materials. So the same similar mobile functionality exists on mobile supported devices, anything iOS or Android. Of course, we recommend Android simply because the hardware is better suited for a production floor, a commercial environment. Additionally, we have some dashboards here. So you got your engineering dashboard. So this is very helpful. Any dashboards in Acumatica can be extended to the mobile device simply by checking that box when you're looking at the properties of the dashboard. So that's it. That's the mobile capabilities that have been added to Acumatica's Manufacturing Edition. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.